Wonder Woman Dead Earth issue 2 by Daniel Warren Johnson, who did both writing and the art. Am I the only one who read this?
No, I read it.
You read it? Okay, good. Wonder Woman's traveling with all these people that she ended up saving from like the gladiator ring that she went to last time, including the kids that found her. And we get some flashbacks to her growing up in Themyscira, which kind of ties in with the ending, because they do get to Themyscira at the end and Wonder Woman goes in. There's a big journey to get there, though. They fight a big monster at one point.
Yeah,
pretty good action sequence. Yeah.
Pretty great fight scenes. She organizes the troops. It's like, pikemen up the front, archers on the ridge, and then wins it by driving a car off a cliff basically into the mouth of the beast, and then throwing oil gas container down it, and then lighting a lighter that she had on the bat belt and blowing it up from the inside, and it's cool as shit.
Yeah, it's big monster action. And so they get to Themyscira though, and the big twist is that all these monsters that are rampaging around the earth that seemingly caused this apocalypse are the Amazons, because man, at some point while Wonder Woman was in her slumber or whatever, they nuked Themyscira, and instead of killing the Amazons because they're Amazons, it mutated them. So she sees Hippolyta, and she's sort of conflicted at the end, because the big ending of the issue is that Diana kind of says, I can't go back to the humans that I've left in this little group because I can't really feel like I can trust you anymore, and you shouldn't trust me. And it ends in this really downer note, because now it's like, well, she doesn't really approve of what Hippolyta and the Amazons are, but she doesn't like that she's been killing them as monsters either. So it leaves her off in this really sort of dark, bittersweet place.
Yeah. Some great action in here, like when Hippolyta is trying to talk to Diana, and she has, she's like a big giant worm for the bottom half of her body. Is like a purple worm is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, it's proper monster stuff, because the monster they fight halfway through as well, where she raids the truck into it and all that. Like, it's proper like alien planet giant monsters with huge mouths, like that's like a big sand monster.
Big purple.
Yeah, Hippolyta's got the big sort of worm kind of thing going.
Yeah, but she's down talking to her daughter. She's got her hands on her head. She's sharing memories by the look of it.
And then one of the kids comes in and cuts off her arms.
Thinks that she's attacking Diana and just slices off her arms. And you just see the hands still on Diana's face. And it's like, oh shit. And then, Cheetah shows up on a Pegasus to rescue them.
But there's a lot of atmosphere though, because like when they show up on the island, like there's a great double page spread of like it's all in darkness, but they've got like a flashlight hitting like one circle of like area, and it sort of lights up the one statue there. Yeah,
which is a callback to earlier in the issue. We'd seen that in the flashbacks, that statue was almost all submerged underwater right now because of the rising sea levels.
Mm-hmm.
And and now here we just see it crumbled.
Yep. So there's a lot of great stuff here. One of the other Amazons is in this big knight uniform, Nubia. And she looks really great, and like the art isn't always to my taste. Like, when it's just people talking to each other, it's not really necessarily my kind of art. But whenever it does the horror stuff, the big monsters, or it does the atmosphere stuff of creeping around the island, like all of that stuff looks phenomenal, and you can see.
Yeah, that double page where Cheetah enters on the Pegasus in the rain, and there's it's all like this pitch black sky behind her, but there's this lightning crack, and you've got the night in the foreground. Looks incredible atmospherically.
Yeah, because Cheetah shows up when Diana's fighting on Themyscira towards the end. One of the kids gets impaled by Nubia. The giant sword goes right through their chest. And you have this big two-page spread, as you see, a Cheetah coming in the Pegasus. And again, if you remember from last issue, because you might not, because it was 2 months ago or whatever, the Cheetah in this is like mutated and has like a mouth on her side of her face, and all these extra sort of bits. But she shows up out of what she owes Diana. At the end of the issue, Diana's like, I'm not going back with the humans, I'm coming with you, Cheetah. So she goes with her on the Pegasus to wherever. Yeah. Who knows? We'll find out next issue. But it's just, she kind of turns her back on humanity because she feels like humanity kind of caused this, and she's been killing her sisters without realizing it because they're the monsters. It takes this book to, it was already kind of a dark book just because of the premise, but this kind of takes it down a really sort of dark place for Wonder Woman in a way that it wasn't before. So and honestly, for a book that's like 50-60 pages, it did not feel like a chore to get through at all.
No, it flies in. This is one of those great things that you often have with a artist who is writing it themselves as well. They know exactly what they want to portray in their art, so they don't feel that they need to overwrite it. As long as they're confident in what they've drawn, they'll often really strip back on expositionary dialogue.
Yeah. So no, really solid. I like this probably more than the first issue. I thought this really put some interesting spins on it. I thought the action even looked even better with the monster stuff.
Yeah, and there's some nice like thematic hints of where we're going, because there's a whole big part of the flashbacks is her accepting to wear the gauntlets that will, she has to submit to them, that will subdue her power, because they're terrified. Because we learn that Hippolyta stole blood from all the gods and like infused it in Diana to make her stronger.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they were going with the clay origin here, where like she put this in the clay or whatever. But yeah, she got all the gods drunk and like took blood from them all when they were passed out.
Yeah, and but which is why she's so powerful here and needs the gauntlets to kind of to weaken her. But I think it's really notable that she does not have the gauntlets in present day. So I feel like that's going to be quite relevant. She's unshackled, she's doing her own thing, and she's unleashed, and just how scary could she be in this final issue?
Yeah, we'll see. But no, really good. What are you giving it?
I'm giving it an 8.
I'm gonna go 8.5. I liked the first issue, but it wasn't super exciting to me. It was kind of the weakest of the Black Label books, and it might still be that out of the ones that I've read. No, digging this one. I'm more on board after issue 2, which is good. It's good if you come out of the first issue sort of liking it, but not necessarily being 100%. It's nice to come out of issue 2 being like, you know what? No, that completely convinced me. So
yeah.